Of questions on my journey from being in films to getting an Ivy League undergrad. So, hi everyone. Hi Anna. Hi Sanju. Hi everyone. Hi. So, just wanted to say ellargu namaskara. Ellavarkum namaskaram. Andarki namaskaram. And hi everyone. I received a lot of questions on my journey from being a film actress. Where is Omi? Omi is watching a movie with grandma, and Vikas has gone to get some donuts for Omi. So hi everyone. So as I was saying, this live was basically to answer any questions that you have on your education. Frankly, I feel, as I mentioned in my post, education is very, very important. No matter what field you want to go to, there are a lot of people who cannot economically afford an education, and they cannot finance an education, and it's really difficult. But when we I think we overall as a society need to make sure that we are able to force our government, to force our leaders to be able to provide free education to everyone. So that's education overall is very important, and it is a basic human right for every child. And for me, I'll come to my story soon. It was a very unfortunate situation, but I think I'm making this video and I'm sharing my story because I want everyone in India to also have that opportunity to study, because lots and lots of children, because of financial situations or because of family situations like I went through, they had to discontinue their education. And when you come back to study, or sometimes like people like me, when you make enough money and then you can support yourself to study, they don't have the same platform as a normal student would have to study. And I think that is very important, and that's why I want to share my story, because any child in India who has suffered like me should not be able to not continue her education in the same way that someone else who did not drop out of school be able to do it. So that's the reason I'm making this, and thanks to all of you for joining and supporting me. First of all, happy Vijayadashmi, happy Dashera, happy actually every day should be a positive day for us. So we're all blessed. So and today we are here because we are blessed. So and also very big thanks to all of you who have forwarded my message. I posted an Instagram post saying from films to Ivy League. Thanks to all of you who supported me, who posted it, who forwarded it, and who congratulated me, and all of you people who reached out to me. It touched my heart. I received so many PM messages from people in Karnataka, from people in Kerala, from people in Hyderabad. I received so many messages from people all over the world, from Australia, from US, and all over the world, saying that that my post inspired them and inspired them to never give up. And that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. And I wanted to show it to you as an example of my own life. It's not been easy for me. I've been through many hurdles, personal hurdles, financial hurdles, many hurdles. Life was not easy for me. So that's why I want to share my story today. And I have all your questions here. I wrote them down because I didn't want to miss anyone's questions. So I'm going to start one by one. So my life. My father was a cardiologist. He was a doctor. And we were in London for almost 9 years when I grew up in London. So I had my schooling in London. After that, we came back. We came to Hyderabad. Unfortunately, my dad had a heart attack, and we were very young. He passed away. And my whole life changed after that. So we were an upper middle class family. Father was taking care of us. My mom was a homemaker. Unfortunately, mummy was not educated, because my mother's father and mother believed that, believed that they wanted to get their child married at a younger age. You know how the generation was in India at that point. So mom was married at a very young age. She was a teenager when she was married. So my mom did not have an education, and so she was a housewife. My father was taking care of all of us. So when my father passed away, our whole life shattered. We had no financial stability. We did not know how we were going to proceed. I was very young at that age. I was a teenager, and our life was shattered. And I know many people right now in this COVID situation, many people have lost lives, and apart from that, many people have lost jobs. Many people are facing a lot of financial situations where they cannot afford to educate their children. And that's exactly why I'm sharing the story in this situation right now in the pandemic, because all of us, we have different problems, but all of us are having our own problems. All of us, different kind of problems. My problem is different from yours. Yours is different from someone else. So all of us are going through a very difficult time right now. So when my father passed away, it was just a different, my life was shattered. I didn't know what to do. I was, being the first child, I was very close to my father. My father was like a friend to me. And all of a sudden, this whole change ruined my life. So I dropped out of school. It was like, being spiritual is also very important. Whichever God you believe in, be it Jesus, Allah, be it our Hindu gods, whichever God you believe in, I think being spiritual at the root is very important. So I was very spiritual. And luckily, I got an offer to do a modeling job for a silk sarees, for Kumaran silks. And I happened to do that modeling just like that. I didn't know the seriousness of it. I didn't know where it was going to lead me to. I didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I had no clue. All that happened is I lost my dad very suddenly, and which shattered my life. And then I was left at this point where I didn't know what to do. And my mom was a homemaker. She had no education, so she didn't have a job. So that modeling offer, basically when I did that, those billboards were all over in Chennai. And somehow those pictures went to some assistant director, Sai Krishna, and he actually he told me about, he showed my photos to director YVS Chowdhury Garu. And that's how I got my first movie offer, which is Sita Ram Raju. So suddenly my life changed from becoming a school girl to a film actress. I didn't even know what was happening, and I think it was just God's blessings that I happened to work with very nice people. In my film career, I completed 41 movies in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada and Malayalam, and I happened to work with very, very nice people. All the actors I worked with, all the directors and producers I worked with, all the cameramen that I worked with, everyone, they treated me very well. And I was lucky to be able to work with such people. So I only worked with people that I was comfortable with. I did not work with anybody that I was uncomfortable with. So that was my career. After that, there was something in my mind that I always missed. I used to love school. When I was in school, as a school goer, I was one of those kids who always wanted to get the first rank, who always wanted to study well. My mom and dad never had to force me to do my homework. I would sit and do my homework by myself. I was an athlete. I was a dancer. So I had all these things, and I used to love school. I used to love mathematics. So my father's family, everybody is doctors. I'm the only one in the family who's a corporate job and who's an actress. Everyone from my father's side, everyone are doctors. So I had this love to learn. And then when I was doing a movie, one of the producer's son once, he made fun. Just like that, we were talking, and he said, "Oh, actresses, what do you have to do? You're so dumb. You just have to look pretty. That's it." That burned my heart, because even though I didn't go to school, I was well read. I always used to read a lot of books. I always kept myself up to date on what's happening in the world, and I was well read. So that kind of hurt me. And after that, it kind of felt like, I want to study. I want to finish my education. I don't want people to think I'm dumb. I'm not dumb. I'm smart. And every one of us, each one of you, all of you are intelligent. You have the capabilities to study. You have the capability to be anybody whom you want. And you have the capability to learn and educate yourself in the way you want. Each one of you is equally talented as I am. And never, ever should you let anyone let you down. So when that person that day made me feel like, oh, you're just an actress, you're just beautiful, you look pretty, that's it, it hurt me. And it kind of made me feel like I always used to love studying as a kid, and I felt like I should go back to studying and I should complete my education and I should do something which makes me happy. So at that point, I had completed 41 movies and I had made enough money to support my mom. And that's another key important thing to all men and women out there. You have to be financially independent. It's very important. And when my dad passed away, that time I didn't know that I'll become an actress. I didn't know that I'll get into modeling. At that point, my aim was, even if I don't get an education or don't get a job, I'm good at cooking. So I would have made I would have maybe started a restaurant or a small tatkada or whatever it is. There is no harm in doing anything. Every job is respectful. And you should respect every labor, every worker, every kind of job. There is no shame or no harm in doing any kind of job. So that's important for all of you to realize, that whatever you can do, whatever your skills are, there is no harm in pursuing it and doing a job in it. Okay? So even if I didn't have an education, even if I didn't have films, even if I didn't have an Ivy League education, I know how to cook. I love cooking. So I would have had a restaurant, or I would have had a small food truck, anything. And there's no harm in that. We have to respect every person who works, right? So at that point, I decided that I want to study. So all the money that I had made, I left it for my mom in India. And I already had a business visa. I had a 10-year business visa to US because I was doing shows. As an actress, I was doing a lot of shows in the US, Malayalam shows in the US. So I used to come to the US very often. I used to travel a lot to the US. So I had a visa. So in the US, so I don't have a high school diploma. So in the US, I found out that there is an exam called the GED. So that GED exam is high school equivalent. So it's equivalent to grade 12. So it's equivalent to the 12th grade exam, which you can take, which gives you a high school diploma. The best part is, I looked up, I tried to Google if there is something similar like that in India, but I didn't find anything for secondary education. In India, I think it's called the RTE Act. They have... Sorry, Vikas just came in. So in India, they have an act which is a bridging mechanism. Thank you, Vikas. So in India, there is an act, the RTE Act, which has a bridging mechanism for elementary school education. So you can if you don't finish elementary school, you can take that exam and then you can get a diploma for that particular exam. But there is not much for secondary education. So here in the US, there's this thing called the GED exam, which gives you a diploma of grade 12. So it's a high school equivalent exam, and every college, every employer in the US accepts that. So I could apply to Princeton, to Harvard, to Yale, to Columbia, to any school with that GED certificate. And I think that's what we need to bring in India too. We need to have something like that in India for children like me who have to drop out of school because of unfortunate circumstances. And I think that's the reason I'm sharing my story, because I want every child who has suffered like me to be able to study. Okay? So I took the GED exam. It's an exam with 4 subjects: science, social studies, math, and language. So when you pass that, I passed the exam. I studied by myself. I studied at home and I took the exam. It's also an online exam, and it's a US high school equivalent exam. So I took that exam. I passed the exam, and actually one more thing that I want to mention is you can even become a doctor after you take that GED exam. So that high school equivalent, you can even become a doctor with that high school exam. Hi, some people are asking me to talk in Kannada and Malayalam. I'm talking in English because I want this to reach out to everyone. I'll definitely make a separate video in Kannada and I'll make a separate video in Malayalam. But today I'm speaking in English because I want this to reach to everyone. Okay. So I have my questions here for you also that you had asked me also. So this GED exam, you can even become a doctor when you take this GED exam. So I took the GED exam. I got a good score in the GED exam. And then I took the SAT exam. The SAT exam is a college admissions exam in the US. So I took that exam. It was very difficult to study. Again, that is a critical reading, writing, and mathematics exam. Very intense. I'm not very good under time pressure, but that exam was basically to how good you are at critical thinking and math and doing quick math. So I took the SAT exam, I got a good score, and I applied to Ivy League. And Ivy League was Columbia, and I also applied to NYU, New York University. I applied to both the universities and I got admission in both the universities. But I chose Columbia because it's an Ivy League. And a lot of you had a question on what is Ivy League. So basically, Ivy League is one of the top universities in the world. It's these... Three of the universities are one of the top, have been ranked as one of the top universities in the world. Ivy League is this group of 8 universities in the northeastern side of US, which are supposed to be one of the best universities in the world. And I think it was Harvard, Columbia, and Princeton have been ranked as the top 10 universities in the entire world in 2020. So I got admission. It was very, how I got admission again. I took the GED exam, which is a high school equivalent. I took the SAT exam, which was very difficult for me. Initially, when I did the prep exams, I failed. And that's what I want to tell you. It's okay to fail. I failed many times. I failed. You fall, you pick yourself up, and again you run. Don't let anyone say you can't do anything. I failed. I did it again. I failed. I did it again. So I took the prep exam and I failed. Finally, I got it right. And then I took the actual exam and I got a good score. To get into an Ivy League, the most important thing is also your essay. So in my essay, I wrote my story of losing my dad, my story of becoming an actress, my story of wanting to complete my education, my desire to go to an Ivy League and to one of the best universities of the world and complete my education, my desire to study math. So I wrote everything in my essay, and I think that's the most important thing. Your essay is a very important thing when you apply to an Ivy League school. So make sure that your essay shows what you are. If you want any college, any kind of charity work, any kind of sports activities or any artistic work, everything you include in your essay, you talk about your passion. And that's how I got into Columbia University, which is an Ivy League school. And again, as I mentioned, a lot of you asked what's an Ivy League. An Ivy League is one of those 8 universities on the northeastern side of the US, which is known to be one of the best universities in the world. So, well, I got into Ivy League. That was the easier part, getting into the Ivy League. The hardest part was studying and keeping a good grade, because I did not study for so many years. I was in movies for almost 8 years. No school academic education, right? So a lot of you had asked me the question on how difficult or how easy was it to get back to studying after such a long gap. It was a nightmare. It was very, very difficult to get back to studying after a gap of so many years. I as an actress, I'm used to having someone to hold a koda for me, someone to do my makeup, someone to give me, my assistant to give me juice. Here, it's nothing. In the US, you are on your own. You don't have all these facilities. I'm not a superstar here. I'm not an actor here. I'm nothing here. So I'm nothing. I'm zero, right? And I start from scratch. First of all, I chose, my major was math and statistics. I chose one of the most difficult majors. Just because I loved math, I chose it. But because I was a STEM, you know what STEM is, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Because I was a STEM student, and that to a girl in like a female in a STEM curriculum, I was able to get a scholarship if I maintained a GPA of 3.8 or higher. So the requirement to get a scholarship And I don't have so much money. I mean, everyone, if you Google it, you'll know Ivy League schools are private schools, and the tuition is very, very high. It's very expensive, and I don't have a father to back me. I don't have that kind of money, because I made my money in rupees, not in dollars. So it was very, I had to get the scholarship. So this scholarship was only if I chose a STEM major. And anyway, I loved math, so that was already, I knew I was going to study math. But I had to maintain a GPA of 3.8 or higher. So how? Because I didn't study for almost 8 to 10 years. I had a gap of almost 8 years, and on top of that, all the students in the math and math classes were all these brilliant students from India, from China, and all these brilliant students, brilliant minds. And I was competing with these young, brilliant children, basically, because I was a little older than them. So I was competing with these young, intelligent, really intelligent children from India, China, who were studying math, engineering, and all these classes. It was very intimidating for me, because they all were in school. They had continued school, and they came here right after their high school. And I am here after a break of almost 8 years, trying to study and trying to compete with them to get a good grade so I can get a scholarship. I'm telling you, my first probability exam, I failed. I could not even I didn't even get the passing marks for my first probability exam. I failed miserably, to an extent that I went into a corner and I cried. There was one tree in Colombia which I used to like a lot. I used to go and I sat under the tree and I cried because I failed. I failed my first exam in college. And I thought, many times I thought I should give up. I didn't think I could do it. Apart from failing in my exam, I also had some issues, my health issues. I have stage 4 endometriosis, which has severe pain at times in my abdomen. So I also suffer from that. I also had some personal issues which I was suffering from. So it was one of the most difficult years of my life, and I failed. I failed my exam. It was so stressful. I was in pain. I didn't know how I'm going to pay for my education, because if I don't get the scholarship, I can't afford my education. So it was a very big setback in my life. And some of you asked me a question on when you have problems in your life, when you get suicidal thoughts, how do you get over it? First of all, mental health is very serious. So if you have serious mental issues and suicidal thoughts, please call the mental health helpline in your state and country, because mental health requires proper doctor diagnosis and support. So if you have serious mental issues and have suicidal thoughts, please contact your mental health helpline. Apart from that, I think for me, my strength came from being spiritual. My strength came in letting go of everything. I felt like, okay, fine, I have taken this up and I want to complete it. Today, if I leave everything, I can drop school. I can say, okay, I tried, I failed in my exam, and from now I'm not going to study anymore. Let me go back to India and I'll become I can still do movies. I can do TV serials, or I can do whatever I can still, because I was already like an established actress in South India. So I could have done that. But for me, the challenge was a no. Some people said, as I mentioned before, that people said I was dumb. I had to prove it to myself. And I think happiness and strength and everything comes from yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to treat yourself nice. You have to be nice to yourself. So I failed. I accepted it. I said, yes, Manya, it's fine. You failed, it's fine. Doesn't mean that you give up. It doesn't mean that you give up. You try harder. You and I have the same intelligence. Under normal medical situations, you and I have the same intelligence. Unless people have some other issues, you have the same intelligence that I have. It's only about hard work. And that's what I thought. Okay, all these children, they're younger than me. All these my classmates I've just come out of school and they're smarter than me. They are smarter than me. They are younger than me, and they have support. I don't have that support. It's fine. It's okay. Putting everything aside, I thought, let me work hard. Let me study. Like if they study for 1 hour, let me study for 2 hours. Let me study for 4 hours. If the same thing took me more time, it's fine. So those 4 years at Columbia University, I had no social media, no Facebook, no nothing. My focus was to study and to do my best, the best that I can to get a scholarship. And I got the scholarship. I had a GPA of 4.0 when I graduated from Columbia University. I only paid for my first semester at Columbia University. The rest, all my semesters, I got a GPA of 4.0, and I maintained my score. I got the scholarship and I didn't have to pay any money from my pocket. So, moral of the story is, we all have the same intelligence. The thing is hard work. Some people are very smart. They don't need to work as hard. I am not smart. For me, it's hard work. I work hard. I'm not smart. I really worked hard. I took they have something called the TA, tutoring classes. So for every class, from my probability, differential equations, every class, I took the TAs, I took the help of my teaching assistants. I went to all those coaching classes. I did everything I could to get that scholarship, and that's how I got the scholarship. So nothing in life is easy. Nothing is easy in life. If you want to achieve something, you have to work hard. Nothing comes easy in life unless you are like, your parents are really rich and they're like pushing you for everything. Nothing is easy in life. And unfortunately for me, my situation was such that it was more harder because of my personal situations too, and my health issues too. So nothing is easy in life. So that's how I completed my 4 years at Columbia. As I mentioned, I majored in math and statistics, and I had a minor in financial economics. Luckily, even in all the employers here, they prefer you having a quantitative background. So, and one more important thing about the education here in the US is you have to do internships. So when I was studying at Columbia, my first summer internship was at Barclays in sales and trading. So that helped me. And also I had to let go of my ego, because I was already an actress and there I was just an analyst trying to like learn as everybody else. So I let go of my ego. I thought, I'm nothing, I'm zero, I'm nothing, I'm starting from scratch and I am nothing. I'm learning like how everybody else is learning, and forget about my film career, forget about everything else in the past. I'm learning something new, and here I'm just nothing. I'm learning like everyone else, right? So I did my internship at Barclays. It was a very humbling experience because I had so many things to learn and I did not know so many things in the world. So that's what I want to stress on here. The more knowledge you have, the more education, it's not just about education, it's about knowledge. The more knowledge you have, you realize how minute you are in the world. Forget about being an actress, forget about whatever it is. I am nothing. I'm just a minute part of this universe. This universe is so huge, it's so infinite, and I'm just a small tiny particle. Even if I'm not there tomorrow, it's not going to make a difference. The world is going to move on because the world is such, right? So I think that humbled me. That made me very humble. That made me realize that you, me, all of us are the same, right? All of us are the same soul. We're here, we're one human race with the same souls. We all share this experience on this planet. We're here for a short time and we leave. We're all the same. Be it you, be it me, we're all the same. There's nothing that makes me different from you, right? I just have a different life. I have different experiences, but you and me, all of us are the same, right? So that internship was very humbling. I realized, even though I was an actress in India, I did 41 movies, all that stuff, I don't know anything. I don't know. I mean, these traders here were so intelligent. They were doing their stuff. So there's so much more in this world. Apart from my small world of that film world that I was living in, there's so much more than that, and so much to learn. So I did my internship. It was very humbling. And then afterwards, I also worked as an investment banking analyst here in New York. And I did an internship in investment banking also. Then I got a job, know me on LinkedIn. Sorry, there was a poor connection. So from there, all of you know me on LinkedIn. I worked in all the big banks here. I'm still working in a big bank. I was in the front office, and then I moved to auditing. For me, auditing is better because it gives me more time to be with Omi and Mummy. So I make as much money as my husband. So it's rewarding, and also I think it keeps me driven. I'm learning so many things and on my job and so on. So, and a lot of people ask me, will I do a movie again? If I get a good role, be it Kannada, be it Malayalam, be it Telugu, any language, if I get a good role, I'll definitely think about it and do it, because films is my bread and butter. It definitely, whatever I am today is also because of the money that I got from my films. And films is also my first love. So definitely, if I get a good role, I'll definitely do a movie again. But this is my journey. This is my journey from films to an Ivy League undergrad to a corporate job. And I wanted to answer. A couple of you had different questions here, so I'm going to see if I answered everything. Yes. So one question that you had is studying with a child and husband's support. Some of the ladies had asked me a question on how did you study. So when I was studying, I was not married at that point. I was still single. Vikas and I met at Columbia University. So when I was studying, we met in New York, and then he used to come. He didn't study at Columbia at that time. So I was a student at Columbia University. He was working in a company in DC. So we met, and then he started dating me, and we got married on the day, actually in the year that I graduated. So 2013, I graduated from Columbia University, and we got married in 2013. I had Omi later on. So I know it's very difficult to study when you have a child. You need a lot of support. You need a lot of support from your friends, from your family. And I think nowadays we also have nannies and babysitters. So I think, but it's important to, if that's your desire and you want to continue your education, I think you should, there's always a way. When you have a will, there's always a way. So I think you have to talk to everyone, get your support from your husband, get the support. But it's very difficult with younger children. But if you live in a city which has baby care or babysitters and nannies, I think you should definitely continue. Omi was around 4 months when I had to go back to work after my maternal leave. It was very difficult. I was mentally very upset. But I had made this career for myself, and I just didn't want to give it up. And today Omi loves and respects me for that. Every weekend I spend with Omi. Every evening when I come back home, I spend with Omi. I make sure she doesn't miss me. And you all can see that relationship too. Omi and I have, knock on wood, we have a great relationship. And I want her, and I want to be financially independent, because I'll tell you why. For me, when my dad passed away, if my mom could have supported us, my life would have been different. But mom did not have the capacity to support us because she never had a job, she was never educated. So I think it's important as a woman to be prepared for any situation in life. Today, yes, Vikas is there, his support is there, and that's all there. But then you need to be financially independent, because you never know what happens tomorrow. Today, I'm financially independent. I can take care of my mom. Mom gets the best medical treatment in the world. Mummy is not well and she has multiple surgeries. But because I work, I'm able to support my mom. I support Omi. I don't live in that fear. I save for my own retirement, so I'm not dependent on Omi. So many things, and I think it's very important for everyone, even to be financially independent, even if you don't have an education, because it's not necessary. You can be financially independent by having your own small business. You can be financially independent by making those small tiffin dabbas and sharing them with and selling them. So I think it's very important to be financially independent for everyone. Men are as we know in our culture, men are already financially independent. But for women, I think it's very important to be financially independent, because financial independence not only empowers you, but makes you prepared for any situation. tomorrow, and God forbid anything happens, I am capable enough to take care of my family. So that strength makes me more stronger, and I think that makes me happy also, because deep inside I'm not dependent on anyone. I make my own money, I take care of my mom, I have make enough money to support my mom, and that makes me so happy, and that makes me empowered. That gives me the strength, and I think it's important for every woman. It's difficult when you have children, and if your husband doesn't support you, it's very difficult, but always there is a way. When you put your mind to something, there is a way. And I wish you all the best. Lot of women reached out to me saying that my husband doesn't support me. I have a child, and I discontinued my PhD. I'm praying that all of you get the strength and get the support to be able to continue your education, because it's very important. I think not just education, even if you have a career, I think it's very important to be financially independent, to be able to support your family in any way, and to take care of your parents. Because I know that from generations we have, like, oh, if you have a son, the son is going to take care of you. What do people like my mom do? She has 2 daughters. She doesn't have a son to take care of her. So I think it's important for everyone to be financially independent, to take care of your parents, to take care of yourself. And I think even in life, you never know what happens. Today I may have, like, when I had my when Papa was there, Papa we used to make all the money. We had everything we wanted. But when Papa passed away, we had nothing. So it's to prepare for any kind of situation that you have in life. So I hope I answered your question. Please do continue. I know even if you don't have support from your family and you have young children, please do continue. Try to continue your education. There was one more question. I wrote down the questions. There was one more question asking about suicidal thoughts because of the current situation. I think I mentioned it briefly before. Try to be spiritual. All I'm saying, everyone's life is different. One, don't compare yourself with other people. Today, if I compare myself to any other actress or any other corporate colleague that I work with, it's not fair, because that person has had a different life. That actress or actor has had a different life. My life is different. So one, don't compare yourself. Two, be spiritual. I think if you are good and if you do good to other people in how much ever you can. See, I try to do and donate as much as I can. I can't donate. I wish I could donate my entire salary, but I can't, because I pay the rent. I pay for my mom's medical expenses. So I can't. How much ever you can. Little things. Like, so be good. Don't hurt anyone. Be nice. And, be spiritual, and God will give you the strength. And do the best you can. I mean, as I said before, life is not easy. You have to work hard for everything. Nothing in life comes easy. For me, even like talking in Malayalam when I did Joker was difficult. Talking in Kannada, when my first Kannada movie was Varsha, I dubbed for my movie. It was difficult. Nothing is easy. So nothing in life is easy. Be the acting, be it the corporate job, be it education. Nothing in life is easy. So work hard and don't get any suicide. If you get serious suicidal thoughts, please call the mental health helpline, because suicidal thoughts is more serious, and that needs a doctor's diagnosis. So if you have suicidal issues, please contact the mental health helpline in your state. But if it's just being depressed in life, just going through a bad phase, all I'm saying is stay strong, because life is precious. God has given us this one life. We don't know what happens after death, right? Nobody knows what happens after death. And maybe it's a reason why God does not want us to know what happens after death. So we have this one life. We have to make the most of it. Problems come. Problems go. Nothing is permanent. So today, I lost my dad when Papa passed. It was very difficult for me. I did not even know how to cope up with it. My whole world, like this small bubble, that whole world was shattered, right? So if you have, everyone has difficult phases in life. So if you have any difficult phases in life, remember, God has given you this life for a purpose, and do something good to others. Maybe make your life do something that you can help others with. Each one of us is precious, and remember, you have to love yourself, you have to work hard, and problems come, problems go, but suicide is not a solution for anything. Your parents will get hurt. This is one beautiful life. You're losing one precious life. So many people, like cancer patients and people who are suffering from so many diseases, crave for life, which we have been blessed with, right? So please, I know this is a very difficult time because of COVID and this pandemic, but please, 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 if you have any thoughts like that, call the mental health helpline. And if you're depressed or sad, just try to stay strong, because everything changes and your life will become better. And work hard. I mean, there's so many things you can do to like try to improve your situation, okay. So that was one question. So I hope I'm trying to spread as much positivity as I can, and my life itself is the best example. That's why I'm sharing my story. I never shared my story all these days. I'm sharing my story because people who are going through this difficult time right now, like this suicidal thoughts and all, I really don't want you to do anything crazy, because life is precious, and all this will go away. This COVID, everything will go away. Life will get back to normal, and we have to go through it. This is not permanent, and we have to go through it, and we'll go through it. We're stronger than that, right? You and I are stronger than all of this. Another question that came up was how did I cope with the change? How did I leave being an actress and go to being a student? Even when I was an actress, I never thought of myself as, I was always very humble. I never had that ego. I always thought that I am an actress because all of you watched my movies. All you people. That's why I reach out to my fans. I text you back. A lot of people ask me, Chechi, no actress has ever texted me back. A lot of my Kannada fans say, ನೀವು ನನಗೆ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. So I never thought of myself as being an actress, or I never put myself on a pedestal. I always think, even today, that you and I are the same. We are all the same. And God just gave me a chance to work in those 41 movies. That's the difference. That's it. So I never thought that, I'm an actress. I should not go back to studying. How will I do it? I have that ego. I think having an ego and comparing yourself is the worst thing to do. The more humble you are, the more you respect your people and love your people, I think the more happier that will make you. And that makes me happy. I think that's why it was easy for me to change from being an actress to being a student. I didn't have that ego to begin with. I always thought God has given me the opportunity to work in movies, and I always thought of all of you fans like being my biggest supporters, and because of all of you, I'm here today, right? I was able to leave money with my mom and come to study because all of you love me, because all of you watch my movies, and because you watched my movies, I got more and more movies, and I was able to make the money. So thanks to all of you. Really, I'm telling you, I love all of you, and I love interacting with all of you. All these years I was not active on social media because I was busy studying and busy making my life here. But thanks to all of you, whatever I am today is because of all of you, and I love all of you. I know a lot of you wanted me to talk in Malayalam, so I'll say both my thanks in both. That's why, to answer your question, that's why it was easy for me from becoming an actress to becoming a student, because I never thought of myself as like a star. Let me put it that way. So in Malayalam, ellavarkum nanni. நீங்கள் ഇത്ര സ്നേഹം, ബിക്കോസ് യു ഗേവ് മീ ഇത്ര സ്നേഹം തന്നത് എനിക്ക് ഇത്ര ഫിലിംസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റൂ. എനിക്ക് 24th കേരള സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ക്രിട്ടിക് അവാർഡ് വന്നു ഫോർ ജോക്കർ. ഇത്രയും സ്നേഹം, ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് യുവർ ലവ് ഐ വാസ് ഏബിൾ ടു ഡു ഇത്രയും മൂവീസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ ഐ എം ഹിയർ ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ഓൾ യുവർ ലവ്. സോ വളരെ നന്ദിയാണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്നേഹം, and please stay in touch, and please keep messaging me, and I love you. And Omi loves you too, and Omi loves Ammukutti. You all know that. In Kannada, ellargu tumba ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಐ ಲವ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. ನಾನು ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಂದಾಗ ಐ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. ಐ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಸೊ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಹಾಯ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. Same thing, ഞാൻ കേരള വന്നപ്പോൾ I'll try to arrange a meet where I can talk to all of you and I can meet all of you maybe in Cochin or Thrissur, or I also have to visit Calicut now. So thank you for all your love. Thank you for everything. The reason why I am making this video is I want the education system in India also to change. I'm going to try and see what I can do to help that, because for every student like me who had to discontinue studies because of family and financial situations, I want all of them to be able to study, to be able to either become a doctor or a corporate job like me or anything. And I think the day that is successful in India will be the happiest day of my life, because I know I was used to feel so sad that I could not finish my education, and I used to feel so sad that maybe I didn't want to do a correspondence course. Everybody told me, oh, if you drop your school, if you dropped out of school, you can do a correspondence course. I didn't want to do a correspondence course. I want to do a course like everybody else. And I think the opportunity I had here, I made use of that opportunity that I had here to get a normal education, and I want that to be able to be available to everyone in India, every child in India who has suffered like me, who had to drop out of school. And let's see what I can do. I hope this story reaches everyone so we can change the education system for anybody who's dropped out of school to be able to be a doctor, a corporate professional, anything that they want, and to have a normal education. So that's the main purpose that I'm doing this, and I'm sharing my story. So thank you so much. And I'll definitely I'll post this, but definitely try to see what I can do for children like me in India who had to drop out of school. And love you all. And if you have any other questions, please do text me. I reply to all my fans. Lot of people ask me, oh, is this your real account? It's not verified. So I didn't get it verified yet, probably because I have a ID here, and I'm an actress in India, so probably that's the reason it's not taking long to verify. So but this is my official account, and I will reply to everyone, all of you who send me messages, and let's do our best to change the education system in India, to help students who have dropped out of school to get a normal education, and they should be able to be a doctor, be an engineer, be a whatever they want. Just because they couldn't finish their education because of financial situations or family situations, they should not be in a position not to continue their education. So I think that's my main aim, is to have that bridging mechanism for students who have dropped out of school to be able to continue secondary education in India and to be able to be whatever they want. And let's see, this is a big dream. Keeping my fingers crossed. If this story reaches as many people as we can in India, hopefully it'll change the system. Yes, so let me see if I can answer a couple of questions, and then I'll have to Omi, where are you? Let me check. Let me see. I'll try to get her, okay? Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find her. Omishku, come here. Quickly say hi and go.
Okay.
Come.
I'll be back soon.
Move.
It's freezing in here.
Why is it freezing in here? Wait, let me put your hair properly.
Don't.
Hey, your hair looks like a mess. Yeah, come here. Okay, come. Come. Okay, it's fine. Come. Okay, here, everyone is live. They want to say hi to you. Say hi to them. Did you get coffee for Mama?
Yep.
She got coffee for Mama. What did you get for yourself? Did you get a donut?
Yep.
Do you want to show your donut?
Hey, Mama, can you bring me coffee also?
You want to drink some coffee?
No, I want you to buy some.
You want me to buy some coffee for you?
Hey, can I drink yours?
You can drink mine. Let me put some sugar in it. There's no sugar in the coffee. You'll hate it. It's not sweet. It's like bitter coffee. Well, did you eat your donut already? Did you get me a donut?
Yep.
Did you get me a donut? Which color donut did you get?
A pink one.
A pink one.
And I ate it.
How did you eat it?
Stop,
What about me? You ate my donut. You ate my donut.
Mama. I don't want to say hi to them.
Why? You always love talking to them. You want to go eat your donut, that's why?
No, I want to go
You're watching a
play with
movie.
all my friends.
Oh, okay. She's going to say bye to everyone.
Bye.
Wait. Say love you.
Love you.
Happy Vijayadashmi.
Happy birthday, Jasmine.
Okay, go. Go.
You speak to them.
Okay, I'll speak to them. She's watching a movie. She's watching Princess Poppy. And that's why she doesn't want to talk. So anyway, take care. Love you all and stay blessed and stay strong. It's a very difficult time. Please stay strong. Don't let any negative thoughts affect you. Stay strong, stay blessed. Life is hard, but we'll all get through this. And love you all. Thank you so much for making me what I am today.